let's talk about a little bit more about the Walking Dead spinoff, which I was looking back, and it's been a full year of us talking about this.
Yep.
It's been it's been a little slow going on this one.
I mean, you have to just imagine that over that full year, there's just been so much workshopping of it.
Yeah.
You know, that my hope is that with all that workshopping, you have a good product.
Yeah.
In the end, like you have a strong idea that you're going to execute well.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the fear on the flip side, is because they announced this project a year ago and just said it'll be, a companion piece and set in the world of The Walking Dead, but set somewhere else. But we didn't know much else about it. And it's hard not to be like, I don't know, like if you don't really have a natural idea, if there's not like a character or something, like what is it this show is about? And we talked a year ago about the fact that there was things they needed to fix with the main show or trying to get on track with the main show, so maybe it's not time to do a spinoff. Now it's been a full year, so it's not like they're rushing, to their credit. But yeah, I think I still have the same misgivings. But we should say that they this week officially ordered the pilot. Again, even though we already knew the show is happening for sure, but now the pilot's going to start filming by the end of this year, so pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been shocked if it didn't eventually happen, because I think that it's just such a moneymaker for AMC, and that they really, really, I feel like the network really wants it, seemingly. I just do wonder what I can't, and it's not my job to do so I hope somebody else can, but I really can't envision a single idea that makes it compelling enough to have a companion series unless it's so different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless you really are like in the area that has government employees that have survived and are like actively working on a cure or something that's just so completely, it's not about just survival.
Yeah.
We already have a show that's about survival and leadership and moral sort of, you can have moral questions and everything, but have it be about something else.
Yeah, because it can't just be The Walking Dead, but set in a different climate and location.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if it's still a bunch of people trying to survive, running from place to place, it's still the same show.
Not gonna do
whether it's in the snow or in, the tropics or whatever.
And I think there'll really be viewer fatigue at that point. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see a bunker that's like equipped where people are stabilized, and now they're trying to find a way through this for like a real solution.
Yeah, I think it has to be something dramatically different like that. Because in the year since we first talked about this show, it's like I think season 4 had its ups and downs, which is most seasons of Walking Dead. It had some really amazing episodes and it had some times where you're like, I don't know what they're doing here.
And it was structurally very interesting and weird because it was like it followed 3 different structures throughout the course of the season. You know what I mean? It was like the regular Walking Dead sort of ensemble episodes into that 2-episode governor arc that felt like very jarring into like individual chapters.
Yeah, which were a mixed bag of some really great ones. One of the show's best episodes, was it called The Grove?
Yes.
Yeah. And then some ones where you're like, okay, we've seen this before. I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, we talk a lot about this. I mean, The Walking Dead is an interesting show, but I think this goes to anything that's really popular, right? Anything that's that popular is going to get a mixed reaction because there are people who won't understand its popularity. So, but it is, interesting if you.
But people get angry by the popularity.
Right, they get angry by the popularity, and again, there's no exact science to this. But if you look at the reaction, just even on IGN, I think it's changed from like very, very majority in the positive to much more mixed when we bring up the show even. And some of it's hyperbole and some people it's just a reaction to something that they don't like being popular. But yeah, I think, look, the show, like you said, they weren't going to cancel this spinoff unless for some reason the ratings dropped out, and they haven't. They've went up again. But yeah, there is still viewer fatigue, I think, if you're offering them more of what's basically the same thing. You know? And there's also that thing of, I think I've always assumed that AMC, one reason they want to do this is because they only get 16 episodes a year. And yeah, you could be like, make more episodes, but it's a bit just like Game of Thrones. There's certain production issues and reasons that they'd want it to keep it to limited to that. But a second show is basically like keep it on the air more.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, there's also going to be competing zombie series.
Yes.
So that's going to be another complicated issue. And I really do think that like you start to get 2, 3, 4 zombie series on the air at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's really going to be a problem. But if you get one that's truly excellent, they're remaking The Returned.
Right.
Which I still have to see, which is the French series. But if that's great, and everything I hear about the original series is that it's wonderful. If that's like great, excellent television, I mean, I feel like then is really when The Walking Dead comes under even more fire.
Right.
For like not. Yeah.
Also, it's just the natural fact that, I mean, look, it's going into season 5, and there's no way it's ending anytime soon, but, how many years? And that's a question that they are going to be asked, including by us,
Sure.
Which is what's the end game, And for now, right now, there is no end game. I mean, they kind of were like, well, yeah, we want to keep this thing going, but there's only so far you can take. Like, does it become CSI at a certain point? Just a show that just keeps generating.
And going.
Because people will want. I mean, especially the fans of this kind of show, I think, will want an ending.
And the one ending that has some kind of answer.
Yeah.
That's a definitive ending. Whether the ending is like, well, folks, the answer is there is no answer, and eventually we're all going to die, and it's going to be a planet full of zombies until they just die off because there's nothing left to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Or they won't die off. That's the other thing is like, what happens? So if the brain kill shot kills it, what happens when the brain? What happens when it's just a skeleton, when there is no brain?
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, Are you saying like, but so are the zombies still deteriorating as zombies?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So like if it was a whole planet full of zombies, at some point does that just become like skeletal mass that is nothing? And then at that point it really is dead, or is it like Jason and the Argonauts where it's like skeletons running around?
Can they do like the AI ending that's like 3,000 years later?
I hope so. But I mean, I feel like that's another legitimate question because the zombies still are deteriorating, you know what I mean?
Right,
They're still decomposing, so you would think the brain is also decomposing.
Yeah.
And if a headshot will take down a zombie, then wouldn't the brain decomposing also take it down? These are questions I have in more.
These are good questions. Maybe the spinoff can answer these questions if we have a different
because it's the science.
Right. Then it would all work for us. So we'll see. I think we'll be hearing casting and stuff pretty soon if they're going to be shooting soon. So we'll find out more about that.